Love that music. Love that intro.
It's always good.
Thank you, Jeff,
Man.
behind the glass. You the man.
The man behind the glass.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to Fantasy Golf TV with Jeff Deal. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with my co-host, and we call him the Professor, Gene Weldon, PGA member. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
The first segment is over from our league, and the winter segment, they call it. And Jimmy Walker won.
He did.
He closed out strong.
He did.
And he bailed out of the Houston.
And we know why.
Where is he right now?
He's at Augusta.
That's good stuff. Well, that's a good life, isn't it?
If he's not at Augusta, he should be. He's got a shot at that. He does.
I like him. But I'm not here to – I know we've been talking. Everybody's talking about Augusta. And
Yeah, well, that's
apparently
gonna happen.
Tiger's plane has just been spotted at Augusta right now or an hour ago or something. But
Yeah, but he might not have been on it.
that's 12th fairway or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, we always want to look back before we look forward. We have a fantasy golf league, folks, and hopefully you've signed up. You can check us out at fantasygolftv.com. Go to thegolfdirector.com. Check us. You can click on the TGD TV tabs, then scroll down and click on Fantasy Golf TV. Click on the live player. You can do that to watch us live. You can do that to watch us archived. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fantasygolftv. Or you can tweet us at Twitter at FantasyGolfTV. So we're in all
You
the
can tweet us at Twitter.
See, I'm not a good tweeter. Brian Steffen says it to me all the time. You got to tweet more. You know, I'm a Facebook guy. I don't know. I just take pictures of my son, send them on Facebook so my family sees them up north.
There you go.
You know, my 7-year-old growing old. Well, today, folks, we're here with Gene. We're going to give you all the information you need to pick your teams and to do better than I did in the league, although, you know,
You're doing fine.
third place in our league isn't bad. And, you know, I'm really proud of the fact that in our TGD league that we have through the golfdirector.com, Jeff, he scored well this week. In fact, he had top honors for
did.
points, so he's doing good. He must be listening to you.
I'm listening to you guys.
But we're Jimmy, number 1. You're number 2. I'm number 3. Brian, number 4. So we're top 4. You know, so that's pretty good for the golf gurus of Fantasy Golf TV right now, right?
You know, I tell you, when we first started, I don't mind being kind of where I was, get a little aggravated.
Me too. Well, I was
Well,
good.
I did something last week that had to be done if I was going to have any chance of winning. And I was trying to, with the guy that was in first place, I wanted 4 different people
Sure.
going into the final round.
Sure.
And I almost had it. Ended up with 3. And my biggest disappointment this year so far has been Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
He has let me down 3 times.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you watch. I won't pick him. He'll win Augusta. I won't pick him. He'll win the Open.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, you know, it's tough. It's not easy. And we talked just before we went on the air about, you know, I have 2 full segments left. I have 24 weeks of picking, 24 tournaments to pick players, and I've got Jordan Spieth only 4 more times. That's it. And this kid's on fire right now. He's, you know,
Well,
he
that-
went from 25 to strokes gained putting to 5th in the PGA Tour.
If it'll make you feel any better, check the stats this week, and you'll see how many uses he's had by the players that are ahead of you. And it's going to be about the same.
Yeah.
Everybody's been using the kid.
Yeah. Well, I was gunning for it. I just wanted to, you know, with the show and all, I wanted to get that first place check and money and or so to speak, and bragging rights, whatever we're calling it. So, but I failed in that respect. So
I didn't use him this past week.
I did.
Probably cost me 30 points, but that's okay.
I did. And then he reels off, 5 birdies in a row to close, and then what does Jimmy Walker do? I mean, he's just got no shot. You know, it's crazy. But it was a good event. It was a really good event in San Antonio, and then we got the Shell Houston Open coming up, and some history there. They set the golf course up. Course setup is, you know, that used to be a different golf course. And year after year since 2009, it took it like a 2 or 3 year platform to change it. But they went from a heavy rough type of golf course too. They've shaved the areas off just like Augusta. They've knocked the rough down to 1.25 inch, just like Augusta.
Well, they wanted to get the players that were trying to get ready for Augusta.
Exactly.
That needed to play.
Right. And they weren't getting that back in the early 2000s. And
No.
The big guns weren't playing it. They figured they'd change the golf course to get them in for a little practice round, and it's worked to an extent.
Look at your sheet today. Look at the number of people that we have that have won at Augusta that are playing at the Shell Houston Open. That speaks volumes for what they were trying to do, and it's working for them.
Yeah, I no doubt. Past winners for the Shell Houston Open, Matt Jones won last year. Everybody will probably throw him on their team this year. In terms of our one league, the A list of players is only 9 players. You can only choose from 9 players, and Sergio was on part of that list.
Yeah, but this is one week where the A list has a bunch of good players. You got Jones, you got Holmes, you got Haas,
Yeah.
Sergio. You got a whole bunch of players in there that, and you can only pick 2. So make sure you pick the right 2.
Well, it's also, you think in terms of, look at the past winners. Matt Jones last year, DA points the year before, Hunter Mahan the year before that. Phil won in 2011, minus 20. Most of the time, the average score there is about 14 to 16 under. Phil lit it up that year. But normally, when I'm looking at this tournament, this is your last chance to get in the Masters. So you got these young guns that are really trying. And I think Matt Jones was a perfect example last year. And then DA points the year before, who plays Monday after the Masters every year. We're going to see him again this year. I think he's on the list.
Jones is already in Augusta.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He is, but I'm just saying.
No,
And I'm just saying that my point is that when you're picking your team for this week, look at that. That's a factor. There are people out there that you might be benign to picking, but it is a factor to me because if they win, they're in Augusta.
So let me get you. You're saying that you've got news that says that Jones is not going to be entered in this contest?
No.
No, he's playing.
He's already made Augusta.
He's
Okay.
made Augusta.
Yeah,
the win last year gave him a 2-year exemption.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
That's
Yeah.
okay. People do that with me all the time.
So, the one factor in Houston is the weather. It's a factor. You just don't know. You can look at a forecast, but throw it out the window. I mean, it's a factor, and so I think that's where I look at a guy. I always think with Justin Lennon. He hits such a low, boring shot, but that's something you should look at too. Look at the guys that can play in the wind and don't mind some severe conditions quick, and then they're over. They'll roll in quick, and then they're over. Let's see. Last year, Matt won. Storylines. 2011 was Phil Mickelson. He had he started to put his pieces together and heading to Augusta, and that was always a good sign. And we talked earlier before we went on the air, and I think I've already set my team, and he's on it right now. I like him, and I'm curious to see how he's going to play this week before I figure out where I'm going to put him for Augusta. But I like him this week. I really do. I think he's going to be on my team. So that's one guy I really like. Who's one guy that you're just on the fence with, that you're not sure who's going to be on your team? I know you've done a lot of studying since we've been here. You said you've been real busy.
Sergio. Yeah, he looks like a good pick, but you never know who's going to show up. He showed up for the first 2 rounds last year and then went right out the window.
Wow.
So, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, Matt
how about
Jones.
you?
Matt Jones won last year. Okay.
Back-to-back wins are very rare.
Very rare. But here's the thing. I mean, is this going to happen again? Remember, he hit this bomb on 18 to get into a playoff, right?
Yep.
And then he holed a bunker shot to win
Yep.
the playoff. There's a lot of luck involved there. Do you pick a guy who just got lucky last year? No, I don't. He's not going to be on my team.
Well, again, you don't need to pick him to win. You need to pick him to get points.
That's true. But I mean, that kid's been stoked for 2 years because he won that event.
Well, he played well last week.
He did. He played well. Well, listen, I still think it's a bomber's course. You need a guy that can hit it a mile, not necessarily straight because they set it up like Augusta. The rough is an inch and a quarter.
There's not any rough. I mean,
Right, it's a non-factor.
That's like a secondary
You bomb
cut.
it, even if you have to go over a tree to get to the green. You can do that. I mean, these guys can do that. So, I think it's a bomber's course for sure.
If you're thinking Mickelson, you should have paid real close attention to him on the greens. I don't have any idea how many putts he had, but it was a lot. Looked like every time I watched him, he was missing a 3 or 4 foot putt.
Right. Look, check your stats. Who gets a lot of birdies? It's a birdies course. I mean, it really is. Put the guys that get a lot of birdies on your team. Matt Jones last year, he had 22 birdies. He had 4 bogeys. He had 1 triple. So that's a lot of birdies. He led the league in league in birdies, but and he's not that short off the tee. He can bomb it. So I think that's one thing that you really got to look for. Look for the bombers. It seems like we've been saying it a lot, but they have played many, many difficult golf courses over the last 8 weeks. I mean, extremely difficult golf courses. This is one that they can loosen it up a little bit, grip it, rip it. If they miss, they're not going to be in too much trouble. So, hey, John Daly, guy like that.
Makes you want to pick Jason Kokrak and
absolutely. Jason
J.B.
Kokrak.
Holmes.
Yeah. Absolutely. In fact, J.B. Holmes is in my rankings. I got him number 1 with statistics. J.B. Holmes, he missed the cut at Bay Hill, but he's got 4 straight top 25s. He was 2 were runner-up finishes, and he had a tie for second here in 2009. So he tied for 8th 2012, and he tied for 12th last year. So I'm considering him on my team for sure, and he's playing well this year. So. There's one of those factors. Jordan Spieth, do I use him one more time?
You better save him.
He's number 2 on my rankings for this event, and it's his home state. I'd love to get the win to start the second segment off well.
I'm gonna give you a real good tip.
Take
him at Augusta.
Take him at Augusta. Yeah, I like him at Augusta. I do, but. He's not a drawer of the ball per se. That's not his.
He finished second last year. What more do you want from him?
Okay, all right. My rankings: Patrick Reed. I got him 3rd. He's just played so well recently. 16 consecutive cuts made. Ranks 13th in adjusted scoring, and 2nd in scrambling from the rough. So this is a course that, like I said, you bomb it, you miss it. You bomb it again, you miss it. Scrambling, he's at the top of my list for a scrambler.
I keep going back to the way Spieth and Reed played in the Ryder Cup. I can see them at night sitting there talking together about how great they were playing, and let's go tackle Augusta next year.
Yeah.
Let's show those boys how to play it.
That's awesome.
So remember I said that. I like Reed this week and next week.
Okay.
I like Spieth this week and next week.
So you're gonna. How many times do you have?
I didn't say I was playing him. You asked me who I like. I'll tell you who I like.
That's great, and that's great for the folks, and I appreciate that.
They might not have played him.
He's the professor. Listen to him. He knows.
They might not have played him. So
I got number 4 on my rankings. I have Ryan Moore. He's got top 10s in 2 of his last starts, top 25s in his last 4. He's currently 17th in strokes gained, tee to green, and 21st in all-around ranking. So I think all around, again, those rankings, guys are starting to gather those rankings. Where are they in the league in terms of the tour? And I think you really need to look at some of these rankings now that they offer that you can look at, and it shows a lot about where the game is at this coming into the first major. So Jimmy Walker just bailed. He's not going to play. He's going to play, but he's going to play Augusta in some practice rounds. He's not going to play in Houston. And then number 6 on my rankings, I got Brendan Steele. Tied for 8th at Valero, was 15th consecutive cut made, so he's playing really well right now. 3rd top 15 in the last 4 starts. He's got a T5 in par 4 scoring, so and he's 10th in strokes gained tee to green. So again, those stats show a lot. Brendan Steele's playing really well.
He's a good player. I would go back to one. You kind of were going so fast I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
We only have 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, Ryan Moore.
Oh, he's solid. He's no wait. I'll tell you where I have him. He's number 4 on my ranking. So you don't like him for this event.
If I played him and I had a good backup, I'd play him the first 2 rounds. I would not play him the last 2. He's not finishing very strongly this year.
I agree.
So keep
I
that
agree.
in mind.
And you're right. And there's the professor talking, folks. It's about gaining those points. After each day, your Thursday round, put those guys in. I tend to move a little too much, and that's part of my downfall. But I did it, and I noticed. I went back and I looked. Week 8, I made 2 moves in week 8 I shouldn't have. In week 11, I made 2 moves I shouldn't have. I should have kept my guys in there. So it's just tinkering too much.
We're all guilty of it.
That's true. That's fantasy golf, right?
That's right.
Fantasy Golf TV, folks. And one guy we haven't mentioned yet. Well, you mentioned Sergio, but Matt Kuchar. I mean, he lost in a playoff last year to a lucky bunker shot that holed out.
Kuchar's a point getter.
Yeah.
If you're looking for somebody that's not going to win a whole lot, but is going to be right up there in the fight, he's your man.
Yep, I agree.
Good, solid pick.
Well, talk about strokes gained putting. I just want to give a couple of folks some stats. Vaughn Taylor right now, he's only got 16 rounds in for this year, but he's first. Henrik Stenson is second. Jimmy Walker third. Aaron Badley is always tops in strokes gained putting. This kid can just put it in the hole.
He can.
So that's somebody that is he playing in the Masters? Is he qualified? Aaron Badley? I don't think so. No. So I know there's 99 players in the Masters right now. They're waiting for that 100th. It's the most they've ever had. They've never had 3 triple digits.
Wow.
Yeah, 99. And they're waiting for the one more. Whose plane has landed on the 13th fairway or something right now. well, hey, he just had to zip in for a practice.
You sure
round.
that's not the 15th?
It could be in Rays Creek. I don't know.
He seems to do a lot of damage on 15. I think that's probably where he's landing.
Yeah. Okay, so folks, again, fantasygolftv.com, Facebook.com/fantasygolftv, or you can tweet us at Twitter at fantasygolftv. I want to give you a brief overview of where we stand. Again, there are 3 segments in our one league that we're in here, and the winter segment is over. I lost. But we did pretty good, and I'm proud of all of us here at
I'm impressed.
Yeah, Fantasy Golf TV. We got a lot of Jimmy Biggs. Everybody knows Jimmy. He came in second place, 2 off the first tee. Was in first place. He won that first segment with 2,118 points. Jimmy's behind him, 2,079. There's a gentleman, one of my members at Barefoot, Play Like a Raven. He's from Baltimore. He's in third place, and then Fantasy Boyfriends. This is a camera girl from the Golf Channel. She listen. Let me tell you a quick story about her. She came and filmed a big break at Barefoot.
Oh, okay.
That's where I met her.
So
and
she's down there getting all the good picks.
Listen, she is. Well, no, she's actually in China right now. She's all over the world. She's everywhere. And but this is what she does. She's a NASA genius. She actually steered Rover when it first landed on Mars. She was one of those girls that was in control of Rover when it first landed. Yeah, she's a really neat chick, and that's her. She's in fourth place, so she beat me by 2 spots. I'm not happy about that.
Steered Rover.
Yeah, she from Earth.
Oh, you're talking about the little thing.
The little thing that
not a dog. Okay.
Oh no, Rover is the thing that landed on Mars, and
I just want to clarify.
So, and then you're in 5th place, 1 ahead of me. You did good.
Big whoop.
You did good. You got me by 42 points. So, but I'm still proud of all of us. I'm in 6th. Brian, our good friend, Golf Monger Brian, is in 7th. So we all did pretty good. Dave, just call Dave, is in the back. He's in 9th place. So we have a lot of people in this league. So I thought we did all pretty good.
Dave is doing well. He's doing what you do a lot, and that's changing his mind and moving a player when he shouldn't. But
yeah, Dave, stop that because it's not working for me. But we do. We have a lot of people in the league. We're all top 10, so I'm really proud of all of us here at TGD Radio and TV and Fantasy Golf TV. I think we're all showing that we're here to help everybody. We have a clue. So I think that's important. We're down to our last couple of minutes. So give me a lock, Gene, for this week. Give me a lock for the Shell Houston Open. Remember what's his name? Cowboy hat, Ryder Cup captain. Be the right one today. What was it?
Al Sutton.
Al Sutton, yeah. Be the right one today. That's what I need. I need a lock, man.
Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed is your lock.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on my radar for my team this week.
Might be why you're in 8th.
Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you a lock this week, and it's going to be Sergio. That's my lock.
I like him. I
Okay.
do. I will say that. Didn't say I was going to pick him.
Jeff
but I
behind
like
the glass, you're doing really good. You got one lock for us.
One lock for this week.
Yeah.
And I've put my team up. I didn't have anybody up until we started the show, and I have my team up right now. And my lock is Jason Krokrack.
Aha, I like him too. And he's a bomber. It's perfect. I really do. I like that. He's learning a lot from you. It's good stuff. Well, it's funny that if you look at the A-list, B-list, C-list, there's only 9 players on the A-list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah, but
6,
look
7,
how many
8, 9.
good ones there are.
Victor Dubuisson. He's just a silent,
Victor who?
Dubuisson?
That's
I
Dubuisson.
think it's Dubuisson.
Dubuisson. That's an
Dubuisson.
American talking. That's a New Yorker talking,
That's 3 years of French.
Oh, okay. There you go. See, I took Spanish. What do I know? But the funny thing is, in our A list here, the second guy who's got the tournament points, the 36 tournament points, Miko Iolin. Did I say that right?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Exactly. Well, he's on the A list. So Sergio, JB Holmes, and Angel Cabrera. I didn't know he was even going to be playing. I thought he'd be practicing at Augusta as a past champion.
He knows the course. He doesn't have to play it.
That's
and
true.
watch out for him this year too.
Well, I went
every year.
Listen, when I went to Augusta, I followed him one year. I followed him, and it was special. It really was, and it was the year before he won, and it was really special to watch him carve that ball. And I'm not kidding when I say it. He carved that ball throughout those trees, around that course, and I was utterly impressed with what I saw. I was just floored by the talent.
Have I got time to say one thing about Augusta?
I think so, Jeff. Yeah, he does. He's
Other than the fact that it's the most beautiful place in the world.
Me too. I
And,
agree.
I've been blessed to go there a number of times. Started going back in the 60s when I was a kid. And it's just a wonderful place to visit, to see. And if you ever have a chance, make sure you go. And I think this year there are more people that can win that golf tournament than there have ever been. And normally, going back several years ago, you had 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 people that you knew the winner was going to come out of that. I'd say you got at least 20.
Well, I will tell you, if I have 1 minute, Jeff, all right, quick story, 1992. Never played golf before, 1992. Watched that, walking through my living room. My dad's watching the Masters, and he says, Jeff, come over here, you got to see this. And that was when Freddie Couples was on number 12, and that ball didn't roll in the water. And he hit
the luckiest shot ever.
Yeah,
ever
and
hit.
I watched it, and I kind of was looking at that. I had no clue about golf, and I watched that shot. He chipped it, missed it, but knocked it in for a par. And I sat down, and I was hooked. And I was hooked on golf. The very next day, I went out and bought a set of Lynx Parallax irons because Freddie Couples
Was playing Lynx Parallax.
and
irons.
him and Ernie Els actually were partners in that company. And I've been a Freddie Couples fan ever since, and that started my golfing career. My first time playing, I hit a house, but I still fell in love with the game. It was a real aluminum siding too, back in those days. So, but anyway, that's so I'm a late starter in golf, but I committed to the game. I fell in love with it. Now I'm a golf professional, so I'm very proud of myself. So good stuff.
All because of Freddie's
All because of
ball.
Freddie's.
If it had rolled in the water, your dad would not have told you.
Well, I
that.
was booking through the house, and my dad called me over and says, "Get over here and take a look at this a minute."
If memory serves me correctly, it had rained a lot, and they were not able to cut that particular part of the golf course down in front of that green.
That's good stuff. I've been
Or
there.
you could be a garbage man. Nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
I mean, there's no telling what you would
No.
have been
Who knows?
if they had been able to cut that fringe and Freddie's ball had rolled in your water, your dad would probably not even said anything to you.
I never thought about that as to what I would have become. Wow. You just rocked my world there, Gene.
How about that?
Well, folks, I really appreciate you joining us, and hopefully we gave you some information. TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured golf course pages, where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much more. Need help with your next golf vacation? Just call Dave. He's in the back right now, waiting for your call. I know it's booking season. He's on the phone right now, so... but it's 844-GO-GOLF-1. That's 844-464-6531. All of our TGD programming is archived for your listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on a show you have missed, click on the TGD Radio and TGD TV tabs in the menu at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on over 1 billion devices. I can't believe that to this day. It's iTunes and AutoRealm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry. That's where I watch our show, on Ustream a lot. And just to get a little brief overview of who I was putting out there before I set teams, and as well as the Myrtle Beach Golf app, which is awesome. The Myrtle Beach Golf app is great. So I'm Jeff Deal, your host for Fantasy Golf TV. Thanks for joining us. Gene Weldon, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure, and I think I know what you would have been. Sportscaster.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no clue. I just love golf. I appreciate that. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you coming.